Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. All right, today is the day that we're gonna start something new. This is gonna be a new year, new things going on, and we wanna do some changes, right? It's like we watch these videos. Why do we watch these YouTube videos? Because you see people and you're like, I wanna do that. You don't watch too many videos of people sitting around doing nothing, right? For those of you that wanna clean your house up in your life, you don't watch them and go, oh, that person looks great. They're sitting on the couch all day long. No, you watch these videos because it motivates you to get up and do something with your life, correct? Yes. So for myself, I had to think about it. I was thinking about it over the Christmas break and I'm like, okay, I want to help. I want to encourage. That's why I do this channel. I want to help other mamas out there so that you guys can have like the happiness and the joy and the freedoms that I experience in life. And how did I do that? By doing these things in my life. I'm like, and I think about them and I'm like, okay, it's like something I already know because I've already done it, but I'm like, I had to start somewhere. And so I'm like, I need to start like the basics. I need to start simple. We're gonna do a less stuff, more life video once a week, every single Tuesday. I'm gonna do this. If you wanna watch it, great. And if you don't, you just wanna watch me clean, go ahead and watch me clean. And I will clean in this video, but it depends on what goes with the week. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna encourage you to choose less stuff in your life so you can get more out of life. We want to have an intentional life with less. And does that mean less stuff? Does that mean less house? It means less everything, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And that is what we're going to do. And this is all based on, I have a book. And that's, wait, hold on a minute. Don't go, oh, she's going to sell a book. No, I have a book I wrote a long time ago, Less Stuff, More Life. I did it when I blogged back in the day. And I wrote 52 different things to change in your life. And it was one a week. And I put it into a book. And I'm like, you know what? But what I'm going to do, at Christmas time, I gave these things away. I'm going to give it away for you this whole year as well. So I'm going to put a link to this book right below. You can click on it and go to my blog. You don't have to sign up for anything. And you can just download this book. And this is what I'm going to do this series based on this book. You can go get it for free. If you want the physical copy, like this paper one, you're going to have to go to Amazon and buy it. And whatever it is, whatever Amazon makes me pay for it. And you can go buy it. But you don't have to buy it. Just go get the download and use that. So that is what we're going to go do today. So we're going to start today. We're going to simplify our life. That's what we're going to do. What does simplify mean? Does that mean like minimalist life? Because you can watch videos that people have way less stuff than I do, right? And they live a very basic life. But my minimalist life might be different than your minimalist view. And the cool thing is, like, I'm not going to have this set thing of what you have to do. You are going to base it on what your ideas of what you want your home and life to be, which is cool. So what we're going to do is get rid of all of the things that we don't need that take up clutter and space in our house, and just keep the essentials, the things that we're actually going to use, and then be able to give those other things to somebody else that can put them to work, right? We're going to eliminate some chaos in our life so we can have peace. And we're also going to find some more time to do something that is important to me. Not just doing everything for everybody else. You're going to find some time for yourself. And yes, you are. By the end of this year, you're going to see huge changes in your life if you do what we're doing each week. And it's going to make a huge impact in your home and yourself emotionally, spiritually, and physically, and probably change some relationships going on around you as well. So you guys ready to do that? Yes, we're going to do once a week. Once a week, we're going to work on it. And if you don't want to do it, that's okay. Skip that week. If I start talking about something, you're like, oh, I got that, Amy, or that doesn't sound like anything I want to do, then great. Then wait for the next week's video. But we're going to start with one thing this week, right? Is this going to be a good thing? So if you get this book, you can go download it for free if you want. It's on there. And I'm going to start right here. Chapter 1. That's what we're going to do. And there's going to be 52 of them every single Tuesday here on my channel. So let's go on to the first one. So week number 1, this is your challenge for the week. Are you ready for this one? This is probably the best one I can give you. Stop wishing things were different. Why do we need to make that change? Why do we need to stop wishing things were different? You know why we're going to stop wishing? Because we're going to start doing. That is what you are going to do. You might look at someone's life. You might look at my life and say, wow, she has so much freedom. She goes shopping by herself. She doesn't have to drag her kids. Or, wow, she's got, like, her house is all good. Or this is that. Or she does this. Or you look at some other YouTuber and you watch and you're like, wow, I wish I had that in my husband. Or I wish I had that in my house. Or you go to church and you see people and you're like, I wish I was like that. Or I wish, right there, stop wishing things were different. That's the first thing you do. Stop wishing. Because you know what? Our lives were not always like this. You're right. For people that know me, they know what my life was like 10 years ago. They know what my life was like 5 years ago. And how my life is now is completely different than it's ever been. But you know why? It's because I started making changes. And that's what you're going to do this week. So I know for myself, I coveted things. I looked at people and I was like, I want to have that. I want to have that. And then the moment I stopped wishing for things, and I started going, okay, I'm thankful for what I have. Instead of being grateful and thankful for the things I have, I stopped looking at so much of what everybody else had and started focusing on my situation, because everybody's situation is different in life. So why do we need to make this change? The reason why we need to make this change is because if we are constantly in conflict about wishing things were different, wishing our husbands would fix things right away, wishing our husbands would do this or do that, or wishing our kids were acting a certain way, or wish we had more money, or wishing we looked better, we always will live in a state of stress. You constantly are thinking and wishing you didn't have what you have right now, and you're like, it makes it stressful, because every time your husband does something or he spends money on something else, you're like, you get all mad, and that conflict starts roaring inside, and it's never good. It creates stress and fights and everything else, correct? Yes. And so when we become agitated, we start thinking about things that just makes us angry, and it gets that bitterness inside of us, and guess what? Whatever is inside your heart spews out of your mouth and into the life and the situation around you, and that is not good. We need to start simplifying our lives, right? We need to stop thinking about the physical and relationship things that we don't have and start living life like we have, right? Don't focus on a concentration on the things we need to change, or the broken relationships in our life, or a home that is not so pretty, or a body that's got a little too much stuff on it. You know what I'm talking about? I got it too. All those things in our life take time and energy. You need to start focusing on the right things instead of living life and wishing things were different. Yes? Yeah. So how do we do that, Amy? How can we do that? I can talk to you and tell you how great and how much you need to focus on these other things, but guess what? I need some real practical advice, and that is what I want to give you. So you know what we're going to do today? You're going to get yourself a pad of paper. Go get yourself a pad right now. Pause this video, go get yourself a pad, and we're going to start making a list. You start making a list of all the things that you want to change in your life. Oh, your list might be long, but it might not. It might just be a few things. But what we're doing is getting a tangible list of something that you can physically look at and know what to change. And I'm going to share with you what a list was years and years ago. This was probably over 10 years ago in my life, and this is something I wrote, so I have it written down here what my list is. I had 5 things. Mine was, I wish that my home looked prettier. That was one of them. Another one was, I wish I had a different body, because I was not liking my mommy body at all. And then my other one was, I wish my children would stop screaming so much, because my house was constantly loud. Another one was, I wish my husband and I were closer, because we didn't have a great relationship. You watch that now and you see it's different, but I'll tell you why it's different. And then I wish I had time for things that I enjoyed doing, because I was constantly doing for everybody else. Make your list. That's what you're gonna do, is get your things all written out. Your list is different than my list. It's just the things that you wish you had different in your life. No matter what the situation, you start writing those out. I know, and then this will happen over the whole week. You might start thinking today, and then later this week you might go somewhere and you might start feeling that woe is me, and I don't have a good husband, and I don't have good kids, and woe is me. When you start getting that woe is me, I call it the Eeyore syndrome. You know what Eeyore is? You know what Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, where he's like, and he's like, I call it that because it's the, woe is me, and that's what I feel like. So I call it the Eeyore syndrome. That's what we're gonna call it. When you start feeling the Eeyore syndrome, the woe is me, go. That's irritating me. I want to change that. Write down your list. That's what you're gonna do, okay? So when you get that list, then we're gonna go on to the next step. You ready for step 2? Let's go to the next one. All right, so then, remember back in the day when we did outlines and things like that? Well, your 1 through 5, you have your 1 through 5 listed. Now under 1, you're gonna put a little letter A and a little letter B or C, however many you need. But for me, my first one was wish my home was prettier. So you know what I wanted to do? I didn't have a whole lot of money, but paint was cheap. So I put paint the rooms. That was something that we could do. It didn't cost a lot. It was gonna take some time, but it wasn't gonna cost a whole lot to do. So I put paint rooms. The next one was gonna be make some decorations for my home, because I had 0 decorations in my home. That was gonna be another one that we could do. So I put that under my fix my home up. Another one was wish I had a different body. Okay, so yeah, you can do a whole lot. Well, you know what my first one was? Drink more water. Easy. I wrote drink more water. And then my B was exercise every day. Loathing, do not like exercise, but I wrote it down. The next one was change my food choices, because I wasn't eating very healthy. Then I went to wish my children would stop screaming. So underneath that one I put begin training sessions. Hello, you have to train everything else, and you have to train people. Train your kids to stop screaming. Learning self-control. We did that, yes. Then I put under wish my husband and I were closer. So you know what my first one was? Begin praying daily for my husband. Every day. Then my next one was begin by designating a date night every month. Simple, right? Choosing to do one thing for him special every day, whether that was making him a special drink, get him a snack, picking up his stuff, whatever, something special that he appreciated. Put a little note in his bathroom, put a little note in his car, something like that. Another one was wish I had time for things I enjoy, and mine was scheduling 30 minutes for myself every day. Okay, so that was my list. That's a big list. It seems overwhelming. What do we do with all this? So then what you started to do, then what you do, this is gonna go through the whole year, mind you, but this is what you're starting this week. Start with one thing. I wanted to work on my home. So what I did, I got me some paint. I got me cheap paint because that's all I could have and afford. And then I started at nap time because I knew at nap time I had 2 hours and that was it, and my kids were sleeping. So what I did the first day is I taped off my room really good. And then I didn't do anything else. And then the next day I made sure that the room was prepared so that at nap time I could start painting. And then I started painting that one room. And then, you know, it took me a couple, 2-3 days to get that room done, but I got it done. That first week I had our dining room done and I was like, ooh, I like this. The next week I started on like the kitchen or whatever your little pattern is doing. And then by the end that year, I had my whole house painted and I was so excited. So I started just with that one thing at nap time. The other one was the different body, right? So painting, and I can drink more water. I can do that easily in a day. So I started drinking more water and being intentional with drinking the right amount of water every single day. And then when I got that set, I started doing the exercise. So I had my drinking water and my exercise in there. And then I started doing different food choices. I didn't do them all at once because it would throw you off and you don't want to do it. You start small, little steps to get you to where you're at, right? Remember the ship rudder talks about in the Bible? That ship rudder is so huge, but all you gotta do, you don't make a big giant thing to turn right. You just make a slight adjustment and that big giant ship will eventually start going this way and make that change slowly over time. Same thing in your life. You start with that little bit of change and over time, it makes a big difference in your life. With my husband, praying, I can add the praying to it too, along with painting and drinking water. You can do that every single day. Put in my Bible, put in my sticky note, so I remembered, because I would forget. Put it in your closet. Be wherever you're at every day by your toothbrush. Put a little note, P, so he doesn't know what it is. And that meant if he asks you, just say, oh, that's just my reminder for me for praying. And then it was praying for your husband. Put that on there. Do that every single day. When you got that down, it's routine. Add the next one, the date night every single month, and you can add that in to the mix. Eventually you've got them going. Do you understand what I'm talking about with all this stuff? Yes. So all these things are gonna take time. You're not gonna be able to do them in one day. You're not gonna be able to do them all in this week. Maybe you will if your list is super small. But the key is to start it going, getting your list going, and making those changes every single day. That's how you see a change, a big gradual change, but you gotta start with small choices. And that change starts going. And then at the end, you're like, oh my goodness, look at where I'm at. Versus the end of this year, 2020, going, my house still looks yucky. My body is the same weight. My husband and I, relationship got worse. My kids are still screaming. All those things that you can do. Contentment is influenced by external circumstance, but it is an internal attitude and can be cultivated no matter what our circumstances may be. We need to stop wishing for things to be different and focus our attention on making the things that we have better, right? Yes, and that's how it works. Start taking care of the things that you do have instead of the things you don't have, and you'll start seeing those change. And I bet you those things that you don't have will start coming into your life. So, all right. So I hope you enjoyed this video on the Less Stuff, More Life challenge for the entire year. That's what we're doing. Do step number 1 just this week. Stop wishing things were different, right? Can you stop wishing things are different and make your list? That's what I want you to do. If you didn't already start your list with this video, when this video is closed, you go get your pad of paper today and you start making your little list. And then you're gonna start implementing those changes. And every single week, you're gonna have those things done. I want you to, if you are bold enough to list below, if you want to, some of those things you wanna change in your life, go ahead. People don't know you. You got your little thing on the icon. Nobody knows who you are. Just list those things you want to change in your life. Let's do this. Let's encourage people, encourage each other to make those small changes in your life, because we're going to do this thing, mamas. By the end of 2020, you're going to see a huge change in your life, and your home is going to be better. Your relationships are going to be better. Your body is going to be better. It's going to be in your relationship with your kids, your families. All those things are going to be better. We are going to be way better than when we started on January 1st, 2020, right? By the end, December 31st, 2020, you're going to go, wow, look at all that I've accomplished this year. And it's just going to be tiny little changes, and that's going to be a good thing. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we are going to see you guys again tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.